Today we're diving into the high-stakes world of tech and taking a close look at the ongoing microchip war. That's right, China's ambitions to dominate the semiconductor industry are facing some serious roadblocks. But why exactly is the dragon struggling? Is the US really winning this tech war? We'll break down the key factors holding China back, explore the strategies other countries are using, and see if China can turn things around. A world 20 years ago. Back then, the chip industry was a different game. Then, a key player named Yu made a move that sent shockwaves through the tech world. He left ASML, the company with the exclusive key to making the most advanced chips, and started his own ventures, one in the US, the other in China. The US grew suspicious. Rumors swirled that Yu might have recruited colleagues, potentially armed with stolen secrets from ASML, with China's backing. This incident perfectly captures the escalating tension in the chip world. China is hungry to become the global chip kingpin, and the US isn't giving up its crown without a fight. Forget market share or tariffs. This is about national security. The US shudders at the thought of relying on China for these tiny titans of technology, powering everything from your smartphone to top-secret weapons systems. Not a landmass, but a piece of silicon no bigger than your fingernail. This unassuming chip, etched with microscopic transistors, holds immense power. The more transistors it packs, the faster it processes information. Since the 1960s, engineers have been on a relentless quest to cram more and more transistors onto these chips, following the visionary prediction of Intel co-founder Gordon Moore, Moore's Law. This exponential growth has fueled the tech revolution, but there's a hidden layer beneath the shrinking circuits, a layer of national security concerns. Chris Miller, author of Chip War, reminds us that the US birthed the first chip companies, nurtured by a powerful customer, the government itself. These chips weren't powering your home computer. They were the brains behind NASA's spacecraft and the guidance systems of missiles. Just like code-cracking machines during World War II or Cold War submarine trackers, the US government fostered a tight partnership with chip makers, who were these vertically integrated giants, handling everything from design to manufacturing, all within US borders. The chip industry started with a bang, fueled by US government money. These chips weren't for your calculator, but for rockets and missiles. Back then, chip companies were all-in-one giants, designing and building everything in the US. But by the late 60s, the chance to make mass-produced chips for businesses was too good to pass up. To keep costs down, companies moved their factories to places like Japan and South Korea, where labor was cheaper. The US government surprisingly gave them a thumbs up. These countries were friends, and the move helped their economies, making them even stronger allies. However, the US wasn't completely open-handed. Worried about keeping the lead, the government made it tough for chip companies to share their secrets with countries like the Soviet Union and China. This way, they'd stay way behind in the ever-changing world of chips. The chip industry's story is like a high-tech dance on the global stage, with flashes of human genius, super-fast advancements, and strategic moves by world powers. From its government-funded birth to factories around the world, the chip industry continues to shape our world, powering everything from your phone to national security. As early as the 1970s and 80s, Japanese and South Korean giants like Toshiba and Samsung emerged, designing and manufacturing chips that rivaled American offerings. By the 1990s, TSMC in Taiwan had become so adept at chip manufacturing that many US companies abandoned the practice altogether. This shift meant the US was no longer the sole producer of cutting-edge chips, and the global chip industry became a complex web of interdependencies. Each country relied on others for materials, software, and equipment to create increasingly intricate chips. Meanwhile, China lagged behind. Cold War restrictions limited its access to top-tier chips. However, under new leadership, China embarked on a determined effort to catch up. The end of the Cold War in the 90s ushered in a period of friendlier US-China relations, leading to the lifting of most export controls. This opened the door for chip companies to move assembly operations to China, which by the 2000s became the dominant force in this segment of the supply chain. However, China's reliance on imported cutting-edge chips for its booming assembly industry created a strategic vulnerability. The Chinese government poured vast sums of money into nurturing domestic chip design and manufacturing companies, often through partnerships with non-Chinese firms. The ultimate goal was a self-sufficient chip supply chain entirely within Chinese borders. This strategy has yielded success in designing, manufacturing, and assembling older chip generations. However, the cutting-edge chips remain elusive, and China still faces years of catching up. This chip, you see, represents more than just miniaturized circuitry. It embodies the ever-evolving landscape of technological dominance, where innovation and strategic maneuvering are in a constant dance. Here's where the vulnerability lies. Only 3 American companies create the design software for advanced chips. Transforming these designs into physical chips requires a machine made by a single company, ASML. However, even this machine relies on crucial equipment built solely in the US. Finally, the crown jewel of manufacturing these processors lies with companies in Taiwan and South Korea. These entities act as choke points in the global supply chain, leaving China entirely reliant on them for advanced chips. In 2019, a stark example of this dependence emerged. Zhongcheng Yu, a former ASML engineer, vanished before his US arrest. He later resurfaced, not in handcuffs, but as CEO of a Chinese company replicating ASML's design software. This, fueled by Chinese government support, showcased a concerning trend. The Chinese government's role in this instance, at the very least, suggests tacit approval of IP theft, if not active support. This strategy stemmed from a recognition of China's weak position in the chip industry. The goal was to identify and replicate critical bottlenecks like ASML, thereby lessening reliance on foreign suppliers. However, this plan backfired, highlighting the complexities of technological advancement. China's aggressive chip industry subsidies, coupled with accusations of intellectual property theft, sparked outrage from the US and its allies. This issue transcended mere economic concerns, morphing into a national security priority. The once cordial US-China relationship took a sharp turn towards fierce competition. Politicians' rhetoric reflected this shift. China's market distortions cannot be tolerated. A tremendous intellectual property theft situation, and "game on here" became common refrains. This escalating tension culminated in a full-blown trade war. The Trump administration further escalated matters by banning US companies from selling components to key Chinese tech companies like ZTE and Huawei. These bans crippled these companies. This involved not only banning the sale of advanced chips directly to China, but also severing access to crucial US-made design software and manufacturing equipment. Taiwanese companies manufacture a staggering 63% of all chips globally, with an even more dominant 92% share in the advanced chip market. This indispensability to both the US and Chinese chip industries provides Taiwan with a degree of protection. However, the recent US export controls forced Taiwanese companies into a difficult decision: defy the US and continue selling to China, or comply and risk severing a vital market, further isolating China's chip industry. We unpack the reasons China's facing an uphill battle, the history behind the chip race, and the national security concerns driving the competition. But the story's far from over. Will China find a way to catch up? How will the US and its allies respond? So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.